Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and today we're going to attempt to revive this Hoyt-Clagwell 2N.
What kind of a tractor is it? It's a Hoyt-Clagwell. A Hoyt-Clagwell?
Hoyt-Clagwell 2N.
What's so funny? Oh, it's nothing. It's the Hoyt-Clagwell, huh?
So let's get started and see what we can accomplish. So this tractor is a 1945, I think, Ford 2N, and I guess the biggest difference you can tell between the little Fords, they actually started with the 9N and then the 2N and then the 8N. The 9N and the 2N were 3-speed transmissions, where the 8N was a 4-speed transmission. And the earlier tractors, like the 9N and the early 2Ns, this rod was like a piece of I-beam. So this is one of the later ones. And anyway, this little tractor I bought only to save its life, because the guy that I got it from said if I didn't buy it, he was going to drill a hole in the hood and stick a hose through it and turn it into a fountain in his yard. And to me, there's too many good parts on it to do that. So we're going to try to bring it back around and maybe pass it on to a new owner. I haven't decided yet what we'll do with it, but it was too good to see made into yard art. And the real reason I say that, if nothing else, is because of this. It has the Sherman transmission. So we will try to get it going. The old man that had the tractor, his son is the one I bought it from. He hauled it back here from Colorado, believe it or not. And he said the old man couldn't get it to run anymore or start or something. And he took the starter off. And if you've never dealt with one of these starters, you actually have to take it apart to put it on. The bolts that hold the starter together are the same bolts that bolt it to the engine. So what I do is like what it is right here. Put the nuts on, put some nuts on it to hold it together, slide it almost all the way in, then take those off, then put the starter the rest of the way in. I ordered this starter off the electronic bay, so hopefully that will get us going. It's a fresh one too, 12/16 of 21. So we'll get this going and see what we can find out. I see somebody has done some hot rodding here or something. It looks like we have a different type of steering wheel, maybe. I don't know. I've worked on a whole bunch of these little Fords in my time, and I still don't know all the differences between them. But anyway, essentially the earlier Fords, like I said, 9N and 2N were 3 speeds, and they had the flathead engine. Then your 8N was basically the front half of this tractor and the back half of like my little Jubilee here, because it has the 4-speed rear end transmission and whatnot. So anyway, those are pretty well the two differences between the little tractors. But we'll get started and see if we can't bring it to life. So either I made a really excellent deal and all it's going to take is this starter to fix it, or I made a really terrible deal and I wasted $100 on a starter. But we shall see. Now, these can be kind of a pain, because some of them, and this one may not be that way, some of them, that Bendix has gotten like bigger in diameter with the modern ones, and you can't get it into the housing easy without grinding. But how much you want to bet that I don't have enough tools here? Yep, I'm gonna have to get something to hold the back side. Okay, the nice thing about these is pretty well everything on it is 1/2 inch, 9/16 or 5/8, so we will Turn these nuts loose here. Maybe. They did an excellent job with their tie bolts, tightening them. Okay, now this one. And remember, this will make the starter come apart, so you have to be using some caution whilst you're doing this. Gently. Okie doke. Now that bolt decided to run away. Okay. Come on. Come on. Even looks like it has gas in it. I'm thinking that the other starter must have just give up. And that was as far as the other guy got with it. There are some maintenance things on it that could be done. The starter cable, it ain't nothing to brag about. That could also be a problem we have to deal with. Starter solenoid could be bad. These used a grounding type solenoid because your push button is actually, it needs to activate ground. It can't activate hot. Otherwise your whole frame of your tractor would be hot all the time. So it's even got a battery in it. I never noticed that. How tight is too tight before I twist it off? Okay. Boy, that cable is crap, I think. I bet you that underneath all this electrical tape, it's pretty bad. But we will give it a go before buying any more pieces. And then if it proves to us that it's worthy, we will spend more money on it. Okay. Batteries in it. Should we just go for broke and see what we got? There's a fuel valve. Stuff is floating in there when I turn it on. It's in neutral. Nothing. Oh, look at that. It's a key start. They made it a key start and it fired right up. Come on, buddy. I gotta set you down because the chokes are spring loaded. Okay. Let's look at that beautiful little thing. Got an exhaust leak, but that's unbelievable. See if our lift lifts. I think it does because I think it was down. The thing about these is, in order to use a 3-point, you have to have the PTO running the whole time. So that's why you have a lot of this cover action going on, because it's spinning in there. I'm impressed as can be. It's got good oil pressure. It seems to run good. We need to air up a tire. We may go try to do that. I wonder if it's got water in it. It's got fluid in it. Come on, fancy radiator cap. This may be the worst part of the whole deal here. That is not kosher. That's pretty. Another thing about these, they didn't originally have floorboards. So you see a lot of guys who homemade floorboards. You've got your brakes on each side, outside pedal on that side, and then this one's on the inside. And then your inside one on here is the clutch. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Let's get to the air compressor, buddy. Let's see, will it start back up? Come on. Well, maybe my key is junk. There. Oh, that's a good one. I am impressed. We didn't have to do anything on it. I mean, we didn't have to mess with the distributor, which on these is a front mount job. People are always so afraid of that, but actually it's fine because Henry Ford made it an eccentric drive in there, so you can pull the distributor off and it only goes back in one way. But I am super impressed. I'm going to air up this tire, and then I think what we will probably do is we will probably order new gaskets for the manifold and stop that horrendous exhaust leak. Because other than that, it was really running good. And I'm assuming that it's just the gaskets. We might need to poke around and investigate and make sure it's not got a hole somewhere else, and that's where it's making the noise. But that is super cool. I mean, I didn't give very much for this at all, and it runs excellent. The worst part of the tractor is this right here. Somebody decided to do some custom body work there. But at least they left the piece in there, so if I take the hood off, I can probably weld that back. Maybe. It looks like they flattened on it a little bit, but I am super pumped. That's pretty neat. Much too good of a tractor to become a fountain. So, air up the tire, and then we may take her for another rip. I think we're going to take off the custom toolbox, although it looks like it's been self-tappered in, so I don't know. Maybe not get that off of there. That is cool. Well, let's go try this out and test out that Sherman transmission. See how many speeds we can get. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I have to admit, I thought that we would have a more exciting video because I thought we would be wrenching on this a lot more, but it doesn't need really anything. So I'll probably get some manifold gaskets, and I may get a temperature gauge for it because it doesn't look like that one is going to work. It looks pretty rusty. But other than that, it'll be a handy little tractor for someone. So, and it's already converted to 12 volt, so I don't really think that it needs a whole lot to go back to doing something. If you wanted to restore it, obviously there's a lot you could do, but I think we're in business here. So I'm going to think on it. I don't really know what we're going to do with it. Probably pass it on to somebody. I've got one Ford, I don't really need two. Although I would like to have one maybe on steel wheels, so maybe that's what I want to do with this, I don't know. But either way, we have a successful revival here on the old 2-in Ford. It came right back to life for just $100, so I think we will call that the end of this video. As always, if you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. All that stuff helps the channel out. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.